Coach Peña here with the football engineer, and today we got my compa Jose on here for episode 2. How you doing, compa?
Excellent, man. I'm glad to be here. Finally made it happen.
Finally, yeah, we've been trying to get this going for a while, but now that we're here, let's talk football, bro. So, who do you think's gonna win the Premier League now that we've seen City and Liverpool? Given that for the longest time in preseason we said that Liverpool was the best squad and the most likely to win it.
Honestly, man, me being an Arsenal fan, it would be very senseless to say that Arsenal's winning the Premier League because, how I was telling you, it's always a repeating cycle with Arsenal. We start off the season well, we're beating most of the teams in the top four. Then occasionally we start dropping points at around this time, right before, Boxing Day, November, December. Getting occasional draws with teams in the bottom half, some occasional losses. Then after January, we start picking it up again. We beat all the teams in the top four. We beat everybody, but, by then it's too late. Usually Man City or Liverpool are, 10, 15 points clear. Honestly, this season I can't really predict who's gonna win. I would like to say Arsenal, but honestly, based on the way I'm seeing Man City, starting to get back on track and how the team's chemistry is getting way better with the new signings and with the way that Guardiola is evolutionizing his tactics, moving away from that 4-3-3 that made him famous. He's finally finding the key for three in the back. I can see that he's copying Luis Enrique in a way in his tactics. So,
Yeah, yeah.
it'll probably be Man City that wins the Premier League.
I mean, honestly, this is probably one of the worst like Premier League seasons I've seen in a long time, bro. Like
Oh,
it's
it's bad. It's bad. There's really no star players anymore. There is, but it's just how I told you. Games are very. I mean, back in the early 2010s, late 2000s. Guardiola came in with the 4-3-3, and everybody was trying to play with the 4-3-3. Everybody was trying to copy that tiki-taka style. And now, in the generation that we're in right now, the team that's revolutionizing with the tactics is PSG with Luis Enrique.
yeah,
So
it's kind of like total football almost. It's very
yeah, it's like total
like
football.
fluid
Yeah,
and stuff.
it's yeah, yep. Well, yeah, technically, Johan Cruyff, whenever he managed Barcelona, whenever he won that, Champions League, he was playing with three in the back, I think.
Yeah,
And that Dutch team from the 1970s, that Dutch team that made it to two World Cup finals, they were famous by playing with three in the back. So yeah, right now Luis Enrique is just going back to the roots of the Barcelona DNA,
and
because originally
you figure he came
originally the
through.
DNA of Barcelona. How's that?
You figure he came through the La Masia as well. He played for Barcelona back in the day.
Yeah, he did, man. Yeah, Luis Enrique is going back to the roots of Barcelona because a lot of people have the misconception that Guardiola is the one that started off the Barcelona DNA, but no, it started 20 years before Guardiola was actually in Barcelona. The one that actually started the revolution of Barcelona, the one that started the transition of Barcelona from being a middle table club to an actual contender in Europe was Johan Cruyff whenever he was appointed in the early 1990s, late 1980s. Yeah, obviously, yeah, Luis Enrique is just going. He's just going back to those roots.
And then like all of like Cruyff goes back to like Rinus Mitchell and like all those throwback Netherlands teams. Like it was all rooted.
Yeah, yeah, literally. Yeah, that Ajax team was. It was. And in the late 1960s, they were the team. with the European championships and all the accolades that they accumulated. They were definitely the team of the 1960s. Then in the 1970s, Johan Cruyff moved to Barcelona. Barcelona became a contender in Spain. After that, he goes back to Feyenoord, retires, and he gets appointed in the late 1980s as the manager of Barcelona. And he's literally the catalyst for Barcelona. He's the one that changed the team forever. 90s, they were a very competitive club. They finally started to win some leagues over Real Madrid and Deportivo La Coruña, Valencia. Because back in the day, Atletico Madrid was not a contender. They were getting relegated actually.
Yeah, to be fair, like
Then,
Atletico is just like relative, like in the Simeone era.
yeah, literally. Then Barcelona in the late 1990s, they fall into a little bit of a batch. This they're not doing so well. That's whenever they start signing players like Rivaldo. He leaves to AC Milan. They signed Juan Roman Riquelme as a replacement. He didn't work out. But, I mean, the player that changed the trajectory of Barcelona was a young Brazilian player with a lot of flair that got signed, from the French league, from PSG specifically. So, Ronaldinho Gaucho. So, then you also had Frank Rijkaard, who also did a lot of good things for Barcelona. And, they just signed a lot of good players during those early 2000s.
Then
And then also the surgence of a lot of young talent from La Masia, like Iniesta, Puyol. You had players like Xavi Hernandez, Victor Valdez. You have players like that also had a big influence. Then a little bit later, you have a crop of Messi, Bojan,
yeah,
Giovanni Dos Santos. Believe it or not, you have there's Piqué. Piqué's also from that generation, but he got sent to Man United for a little bit, then he came back. Busquets a little bit later. Busquets he's like a generation younger than Messi and the rest of the guys, but you get all that together. Rijkaard leaves. They appoint Guardiola, a lot of people were doubting his appointment.
yeah,
Think
you're
about it.
right.
Guardiola retired in Mexico. Guardiola had retired in Mexico a couple years prior to getting appointed. He retired at Dorados de Sinaloa.
You
Think about
forget.
it.
And then when they appointed him,
I mean,
he had like no first team experience when they appointed him. He had only managed Barca B for like one season, and then he got appointed.
exactly. But pretty much what Guardiola did, it's actually pretty genius because he got the best from Johan Cruyff's philosophy, and he also put a little bit of his, but also got a little bit of Frank Rijkaard.
And then after he left, then they appointed freaking Mexico's greatest manager, bro, Tata Martino, and he crumbled it.
Yeah, Tata Martino. Tata Martino's. I don't know. I never knew why they appointed him in the first place because Tata Martino's like playing style, his philosophy is completely different to Barcelona's DNA. Barcelona's about being, best, creating the triangles on the field, always having one extra player to play the ball to space, one-touch football, and Martino, you have to look at, honestly, the highlight of Martino's career is leading Atlanta United to an MLS title
True.
and leading Paraguay to a World Cup quarterfinal, which was in 2010. They actually lost to Spain in the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
But that team, that Paraguayan squad, they were very defensive. They would sit in the back.
true. And then like talking about the World Cup, who do you think is the best World Cup team that's not from Europe or South America?
The
Like
best cups of all time.
yeah, like in history, like who do you think's the best World Cup team that's not from Europe or South America?
Oof, that's a tough question. Recently we had Morocco go all the way to the semis.
Yeah, Morocco was good. I was thinking like, and they might not be
South,
the best team, but like when South Korea made it,
South Korea, yeah.
2002.
The thing about South Korea in 2002, there was a lot of questionable decisions that were made, to their favor. That game against
Yeah,
Spain, they literally robbed Spain. So I wouldn't
that's
really
true.
include South Korea because there was a lot of politics involved in their in their trajectory to the semis. And
True.
honestly, was Turkey playing in UEFA during the 2002 World Cup, or they were still in the Asian they were in Asia still, no?
I'm not sure. I know. Obviously, they're in UEFA now, but
But they were part of the AFC for a bit. I do think that during the 2002 World Cup, I do think they were still in the AFC. I
that's
might be wrong.
that's true. And that was a good side as well.
That was a good team. That was a good team. That was a good ass team. Who else do you have? Honestly, Ghana in 2010, very
Yeah,
good team. Very good
yeah. They
team.
just got robbed by Suarez, bro.
Yeah, they got. Literally, so
What about Costa Rica?
oh, Costa Rica. Wow, that was actually the thing about Costa Rica, though. Obviously, I give them all the credit in the world, but the thing about Costa Rica is that they were in the group of death in theory. But the thing is, Italy was going through a lot of things. Like they weren't the best side. England is England. And then Uruguay. The thing about Uruguay, a lot of their players were getting old. Diego Forlan, that was his last World Cup. Diego Lugano, it was his last World Cup. It just wasn't. it wasn't the same team from 2010.
But
So yeah,
I mean, at the same
and
time,
that's
like Costa Rica didn't really have good players. Well, they had
nah,
decent
they
players,
had a good
but like
team.
they had
They had
Brian Ruiz,
it was
Navas.
a golden generation. I mean, come on, man. Look up top, they had. I mean, obviously they had Brian Ruiz, who had a good season at Fulham, and had also, and a couple seasons prior to that, he had an amazing season at PSV.
That's true.
You had Celso Borges playing in the Spanish league. You had Keylor Navas, climbing the ranks at Levante. You had players like Junior Diaz at left back. Nah, they had a good ass team, honestly. Who else? You had Marcos Ureña.
But
Who
not
else
to
did they
like
have?
the level of
Joe
Italy.
Campbell.
Yeah, but not to like the level of like Italy and England and those sorts.
But they had chemistry.
That's true. It's like teams like Iceland and the Euros.
That team. The thing about that Costa Rican team, that team had gone developed very well by the manager Jorge Luis Pinto. There was a lot of unity. There was a lot of chemistry in that team. They knew how to play, and they knew how to play, and they knew their limitations. So look at those games. They were sitting in the back most of the time. They were very disciplined defensively. Because think about it, they only conceded one goal during that group stage. I think 1 or 2 goals only. I mean, they beat Italy 1-0 with that Brian Reese header. They started off losing in the opening match against Uruguay 1-0, but then they won 3-1. Then against England, I think they tied, no?
Yeah, yeah. It kind of remind me of like a better version of like the current Panama team that's like been beating the US every game.
I wouldn't go so far, man, honestly, because this Costa Rican team.
Yeah, they had a lot more talent, but like in the way
Oh,
that they
hell
kind of
yeah. I mean,
the way that they kind of play and like they definitely overperform.
you have to remember, man, in the 2011 Copa America, I think they played in that tournament, I think. Joe
Yeah,
Campbell was the youngest goal scorer of the tournament. He was only like 18 years old. That's whenever he got signed by Arsenal.
yeah. And
Joe
like
Campbell was actually Joe Campbell was actually a wonder kid.
that's true. I just feel like
He was a wonder kid. He was good. I mean, shit. To think about it, a young 18-year-old Costa Rican winger starts making his name in the Costa Rican League, plays the Copa America, scores a goal, gets signed by Arsenal. But he all those loan spells really didn't do him much justice. I mean, he got loaned to other teams. I mean, who did he get loaned out to? I know. I
he
know
kind of
Swansea City was. I know Swansea City was one of them.
he kind of reminds me of like his story is kind of like uh Gonzalo Plata, the Venezuelan. He was Venezuelan,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
He was
nah,
super
but I
hyped
was.
at Sporting, and they were like, he's gonna move to like a big club, and then like he just got loaned, and never really ended up in La Liga somewhere, but not like in a big club like it's supposed to.
Yeah, Joe Campbell, he did play one full season for Arsenal, and that was a 2014-2015 season. He played
Yeah,
pretty well. I mean, he was a good super sub. I mean, think about it. Joe Campbell, he had all the characteristics of a world-class winger. Think about it. He played as a right midfielder, right winger. Pacey. He was very pacey, physically strong, very good at dribbling. He had good shooting. It's just he was never given the continuity at Arsenal. I mean, his story at Arsenal is very similar to Carlos Vela.
I feel like he didn't. Well, he never got the chance because they had Alexis Sanchez, they had like solid wingers then. Never got
So that's why I say, I mean, his career is very similar to Carlos Vela's career.
Yeah, what do you think about the latest Mexico squad?
I like it. I like it. I like that Aguirre. He's finally giving more opportunities to young talent. I like the fact that he caught up Armeo Gonzalez. I mean, how me and you have been discussing. I mean, for me, his career, it's like a mirror of Chicharito. How I told you, there's a lot of similarities. Formiga's dad, Armando Gonzalez, was also a player for Chivas.
Yeah,
Chicharito's dad, El Chicho Hernandez, El Original.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he played for Chivas as well. I mean, he played in the 1986 World Cup. He was a really good player for Monarcas, for Chivas, Puebla, you name it, Tecos.
Do,
They're very similar, right?
do you
That's one
think
similarity right there.
you think he has the same level of potential?
How's that?
Do you think he has the same level of potential? Like, can he make it to that height or not really?
It's because there's things that La Hormiga has that Chicharito didn't have, and there's things that Chicharito had that La Hormiga doesn't have. For one, La Hormiga is more physical than Chicharito, so his hold up play is way better than Chicharito's,
Yeah, that's fair.
and he's a little bit more and he's a little bit more technical on the ball
I
than
mean,
Chicharito was.
yeah, Chicharito had like great movement, but he also like in his young days had some pace too. Like he could get in behind a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
that's what that's what that's
I feel like Chicharito like he went like people wouldn't sign him in today's because everybody plays with huge strikers, and he was like 5'8", 5'9", like he wasn't a big dude at all. So like they're not gonna sign him, yeah, and he's like one of those players that you need because he has great movement in the box. There's a lot of like strikers
Honest,
in the past that won't get signed now. Like even Cavani, Cavani wasn't too small, but like he had great movement, but like they wouldn't sign him because he wasn't huge and couldn't hold up the play too much.
honestly, that's one point I wanted to address. One thing that Chicharito has that Armando Gonzalez does not have is pace.
Yeah,
And look at Chicharito. Look at Chicharito back in 2009, from like 2009 to like 2015, 16. Look at his goal against Argentina in the 2010 World Cup. The way he just received the ball and just spun around the defenders and boom, left Sergio Romero just standing like an idiot.
yeah,
He
yeah.
did. He made it happen hella quick. I mean, and the way that honestly, like, I might get clowned for this, but in the box, like during his day, there are very few strikers that have the off ball movement that Chito has.
I agree. There's only like the few
Very
that I
few.
the few that I
Very,
the few that I like would be like Cavani. Cavani had great movement. Benzema moved well as well. Not just in the box, but kind of all over.
think about Benzema though. He was more effective outside of the box.
Yeah, Benzema was more like a false nine, or he will kind of drift out wide and stuff. But he still had,
Why, why do you think Benzema flourished whenever Ronaldo left?
yeah, that's fair.
Why? Because, I mean, during the early seasons at Madrid, they wanted to assign Ronaldo the same role that he had with Man United, just being a winger, being a creative winger, crossing into the
Yeah, yeah,
box, occasionally scoring some goals. But the thing is, they wanted to make Benzema the target man, but that never worked out. I mean, look at Benzema's early seasons with Madrid. I mean, yeah, he would get about 20 goals a season, but that was pretty much his cap. As soon as Ronaldo left, they gave him more of that, creative liberty, and
yeah.
he was able to get out of the box more, and therefore he scored way more goals. I mean, he scored about how much goals did he score in the best season in 2022? Almost 4.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's always like smaller strikers have better movement, more because they
Oh
have to.
yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, it's because, and that's also an art. That's also an art that's been lost in the striker nowadays. Because nowadays it's just European teams just look for very tall, strong target men that just hold up the play. Why? Because most teams sit in the back. They park the bus.
Yeah, and
You
it's kind
know?
of like I think it's because like the number 10 died, like the attacking midfielder died. Like before, you would have a player who could actually unlock a defense that was sitting back. And now it's like let's just
Yeah.
get the ball into a big striker, like crosses and stuff, and hope he finishes it instead of trying to break down the defense.
Why do you think Florian Wirtz hasn't been able to do that with Liverpool?
Yeah, that's true. Well, for me, it's just a physicality thing.
So I'm telling you, I mean, the sport has become so, like, the main emphasis of the sport nowadays is just physical, 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 running, running, running. The beauty of the sport has diminished a lot. I mean, back then, I mean, you had to have a good number 10 in order to compete. You had to. I mean, go back into the 2000s, 2010s, 1990s, especially 80s. I mean, there was a bunch of number 10s. I mean, everywhere. I mean, we could, I mean, if we wanted to name all the number 10s from the 2000s, 90s, we would probably finish until tomorrow. I mean, there was just so much players. I mean, even in South America, there was a bunch of players that never even went to Europe. I mean,
But then at the same time, I was seeing like a graphic the other day about a distance covered, and like in the Premier League, every team that's winning the game is covering more distance than the team that's losing. So what do you
yeah.
think about that?
I mean, it just goes to the evolution of the sport. I mean, the way that teams are getting to know their limits. I mean, it's just I told you. I mean, in every single game. I mean, just look at the possession stats. There's always going to be a huge difference between possession. It's always going to be 65-35, 70-30, 75-25 in the Man City game. I mean, it's just the way the sport has become. I mean,
Do you think
the team, look, the most important players. How's that?
do you think possession actually wins games though, or not? I mean, like I remember like Barca and Celtic back in the Champions League, like what was that, like 2012, 2013, when Barca had like 73% possession, or like it was above 70% for sure. And Celtics still won the game. But do you think it's like that now, or you think like does possession win games or not? What do you think?
Possession does win games. Because you have to remember that, yeah, I mean, there's going to be that occasional game like Celtic versus Barcelona in the 2012 Champions League. But you have to look at the opportunities created by Barcelona in that game. They had a bunch of chances.
Yeah,
Who was the Celtic goalkeeper during that time? It was what was his name? He played in the Premier League later on. What was his name? You remember him?
that was before. Well, I mean, Joe Hart was still at City. I know Joe Hart moved a couple years after that to Celtic, but I'm trying to remember who it was too.
Who was it? Who was it? He became a big name in the Premier League. Well, that guy, he had an amazing game. I mean, he had a bunch of saves. So Barcelona, in theory, and any other day, they would have won that game. I mean, whenever it comes to those games where the team that sits back, just sits back and sustains all the pressure and they score a couple lucky goals, I mean, that's the exception to the rule. The exception doesn't make the rules. I mean, look at the stats. I mean, most of the time, the team that has way more possession, they win the games.
I always think about last season, the Champions League was like Bayern and Celtic. And Celtic had a lot of like Bayern dominated possession, but Celtic had like a lot of chances in the like second leg of the tie. In the last like 15-20 minutes, they were just dominating Bayern, but the possession was still like 65 to like 35, But Celtic had a lot of chances to win the game and just couldn't win it.
I don't even think that works that much anymore. I mean, look at Simeone. I mean, 10 years ago, he had a lot of success by just sitting in the back and countering. It doesn't really work out for him anymore. Look at Mourinho. I'm to Mourinho, the special one.
So what tactics actually work then? Like possession. I mean, everybody's trying to adopt Pep's system, and it doesn't work for everybody. Then like parking the bus doesn't work anymore. So what actually do you think works?
What works nowadays, based on what I see, is a team that, yeah, they have possession, but they have their fullbacks are very involved in the game. Their fullbacks know how to transition between defense and attack.
Like it's very like transition heavy now.
Look at PSG right now. Why do you think they've been succeeding so much? Yeah, I mean, Vitinha is good. Yeah, those guys are good. João Neves is good, but Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, they've been the heart of PSG. Look at Bayer Leverkusen a couple seasons ago.
That's true. Like the game is almost all like transitions. If you can win the
look at Bayer Leverkusen. Look at Bayer Leverkusen with Xabi Alonso, Jeremy Frimpong, and Grimaldo. They were vital to the undefeated season because they knew the role. They knew how to transition between defense and attack.
And it's kind of interesting. It goes like
Chivas right now. Look at Chivas right now in the Mexican League with Milito. Why are they so good? Because they're so good at transitioning between defense and attack. Brian Gonzalez and Richard Ledesma, those guys they've been very good. I mean, even in Chivas right now, what I've been noticing, usually it's either the left center back or the right center back. They usually attack and they add one more number to the attack. So they always have one more player than the opposition. So therefore, they have more options to pass the ball. They create those triangles, and that's why they're able to play at a quick pace and break the lines because they have one extra guy making the run, on the flank or through the middle.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting though. Like the tactics kind of go full circle because now like teams that are starting to pick up points in the Premier League are teams that are going long. Like everybody's going long now to beat the press. And that's like tactics from, like the early 2000s and stuff. And now like that's how we're beating possession football again by just going long.
But you know what team actually did this like earlier, like before everybody? Three in the back by playing this way? Juventus.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember? Yeah, with Antonio Conte, with Barzagli, Chiellini, and Nucci.
And then he came to the premise.
But Barzagli was always the one that stayed in the middle. Chiellini played on the left and Bonucci played on the right. What was Bonucci known for? He was known as the best ball-playing center back in the world. Remember that? I mean, then at right wing back, they had Lichtsteiner.
And then like I said, Conte, then he went to Chelsea and basically recreated it with Victor Moses at right wing back.
I mean, Conte, he had Victor Moses looking like Roberto Carlos.
Yeah, Azpilicueta, Marcos Alonso.
I mean, he would play. Yeah.
Yeah, Marcos Alonso just turned into a monster.
Yeah, Marcos Alonso. Bro. That's what I'm telling you, man. That's what I'm telling you. So that's why whenever I see that people want Nuno Mendes or Hakimi back in Madrid, I don't know if those guys would be as effective at Madrid because Madrid historically they always play with four in the back. Maybe with Xabi Alonso will succeed. I mean, Xabi Alonso he likes playing three in the back, but if those two guys go to a team that plays with four in the back, I don't know if they'll be as effective.
I mean, they start in a four in the back at PSG, but it's like they're going forward the whole time, so
Exactly.
they're more like wing backs, and
Yep.
I feel like you could squeeze one of them maybe into Barca, but because Barca kind of goes in that back three shape with Kunde kind of pinching in from right back into like more of a central role, and Balde is just flying up the left wing.
Yeah, Barcelona doesn't really need those guys. I mean, Barcelona they already have Valde, so I mean, Valde is going to be a very good player in the future. I mean, just that he needs to become a little bit more injury free.
Yeah, who do you think is gonna win La Liga this season? Right now Madrid's at the top of the table.
Yeah, I think Madrid. Like definitely. I think for next season, I think Madrid needs to make some signings. Though they need to revamp their midfield. They need somebody that's creative. 'Cause I feel like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like right now they've been emphasizing too much physicality in their midfield.
Yeah, I feel like Madrid will win La Liga, but it's gonna struggle in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I mean, how I told you. I mean, I feel like Madrid needs to sign. They need to sign a couple creative midfielders. You know, somebody. I mean, obviously, there's really nobody that plays like Modric or Cruz, but somebody that could play similar. That somebody that can fill that role. You know,
I
just be
mean,
creative.
I mean, the problem with Madrid is that they already have too many midfielders as it is, but like they don't have any that fit the profile that they need.
I mean, they're all. I mean, sure, many. I mean, yeah, the guy's a tank, but I mean, is he really going to create a lot? Not really. It's not
Like
his role.
like Camavinga, Pedro Valverde, and Bellingham are almost all the same profile.
Exactly. I mean, Valverde is more of a box to box. He's like the new Kovacic.
They all fit like the same mold, but like slightly different. But that's not what Madrid needs. The only like kind of creative player is like Arda Güler, but like he's also like
He,
18, 19 years old, so that's a lot of pressure to put on him.
not Gullit. Arda Güler is he's a number 10. I mean, he's not a center midfielder. He's a number 10. He's
Yeah.
way more attacking. I mean, he even goes to the. I mean, they need somebody that could just fulfill that creative role. You know, somebody that could just slow down the tempo of the game. Because I feel like that's been an issue with Madrid that sometimes they struggle to slow up the tempo of the game.
Do you think they need to change formation though? They kind of play like a weird 4-4-2 with four center mids, but it's not quite like a diamond, but it is almost like a flat 4-4-2 sometimes. And it's like maybe they need to change formation. I think I would bring in a striker to be honest, because like Mbappe gets isolated and he's looking more to go in behind. So when he holds up the ball, like there's nobody to go in behind. Vinny tries to go in behind, but the two of them are just isolated up there. So there's nobody to pin the two center backs so they can run in behind.
Ringo,
So
Holland.
at least Gonzalez for now, bro, off the bench, like something, just change it up a little bit. But if not, then yeah, Holland would be insane, bro. Like, but I don't know. It would have to be somebody lesser because I don't see Holland leaving City at this moment.
I mean, I don't know you. I can't really think of who Madrid could sign. I mean, they need a good target man, but who would be good?
All right, bro. So let's do some player comparisons here. Would you rather have prime Paul Pogba or prime Kevin De Bruyne?
Awesome, man. That's a no-brainer. Definitely prime Kevin De Bruyne.
You think prime KDB over Paul Pogba, like you got Pogba?
Bro, prime KDB won Champions Leagues.
But I mean, would you blame that on his team though? Like, I mean, prime Pogba made it to like the Champions League final as well, but he played against MSN, bro.
I mean, he did, man, but I mean, he was playing in a Juventus squad that dominated the Serie A for almost 10 years.
I mean, to be fair, De Bruyne played in a City squad that dominated the Premier League for like 5 or 6 years too.
But they actually won the Champions League, though.
Yeah, but they played Inter, bro.
It's not their fault, man.
I mean,
Inter.
I mean, look at Pogba in the World Cup.
Nah, Pogba was a great player, but I feel like Pogba, he was good in his early seasons at Juventus, and he had some good, stints at Manchester United. But the thing is, the worst enemy of Pogba was consistency and injuries. I feel like Pogba never reached his full potential. You have to agree with that. He never did.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like it's kind of comparing like apples and oranges though, bro, to like in terms of style. Like the way Pogba played was a lot different than De Bruyne. LeBron played a lot higher up the pitch, around the 18 and the half spaces and stuff. And Pogba was like Pogba could play deeper, but could also play as a like attacking midfielder as well. Like Pogba was known more for his like long passing, like dictating the play. I guess and LeBron is more like playmaker, creator.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I would say, you know, based on raw natural talent, I feel like Pogba is a little bit ahead of De Bruyne because I mean, he was 6'3" magician in the midfield. I mean, the guy. I mean, he was great. I mean, he had flair. He was a playmaker. He had a good long shot on him. He had that physical presence. He had everything going for him. But the thing is, I told you, I mean, he was never able to have that consistency, and he was very injury prone, and that led to him, falling out of Manchester United. Because in reality, if Pogba, the original trajectory for Pogba was for him to do well at Man United and then eventually move to Real Madrid or Barcelona.
I
That was
think
always the plan.
originally he was like the long term replacement for Paul.
He was different. He was a little bit different than Paul Scholes. I mean,
But yeah, he had
very different,
a bit more flair.
way more attacking. I
In,
mean,
ter-
shit.
in terms of ability.
Scholes was a little. He's like if you're to look up the definition for CDM, starting defensive midfielder in the dictionary, Paul Scholes would pop up right there. He's literally the definition of CDM.
I would say Scholes was like in the modern game. Yeah, in the modern game, he would definitely be like a ball playing offensive midfielder. But at the time,
He was
like,
a
Scholes
he
was
was
more
a
like a. But I would say Pogba reminded me more of like a young Paul Scholes, like in the when he first broke into United, he was more like a attacking midfielder.
I mean, Pogba, he had way more flair than Scholes. I mean, Scholes was always a very direct player. I mean,
But in terms of
he
like
was.
passing ability, I would say similar.
Oh yeah, passing ability. Yeah, I mean,
Like ball striking
you
as
could say
well.
that. I mean, if anything, if you want to make a comparison like that, I mean, you could compare Pogba to Gerrard.
Yeah, but the thing is, Gerard had more like ganas, I guess, bro. Like he would tackle, he would do everything. Pogba wasn't like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, Scholes. I mean, for me, the most similar players to Scholes is Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, that's fair. Who do you think would be like a modern comparison for somebody like Yaya Toure? Yeah,
Good one
Toure is
right
not that
there.
old. Like he's still obviously like a fairly recent player in the last 10 years. He was insane, bro. Like he was good at Barcelona. Pep never really gave him like a proper chance, but when he went to City, he was just insane, bro. I don't think I
Yaya
could think of
Toure was a
one.
beast.
I don't think I could think of one because he could do everything, bro. Like he in that.
He could do everything. I mean, shit. Yeah, I mean, he had that physical presence of him. I mean, he was a tall, strong guy. He was great on the ball, great passing. I mean,
Well,
he was able to drift.
maybe we can come up with a modern one, but can you think of a historical one? Because I don't think there is a modern one now that I think about it. Or
Patrick Vieira.
yeah, Patrick Vieira was similar.
Yeah, Patrick Vieira, definitely. Patrick Vieira. I mean, who else? Because Patrick Vieira, he kind of revolution or well,
Bullet, yeah.
Yeah, Goulet. I mean, Frank Rijkaard too. I mean, but I would say Ruud Goulet, Yaya Toure. You know who could be a similar player to Yaya Toure in a way? Gravenberch.
Yeah, kind of. I could kind of see that. Just like not as physical.
Not as physical, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's probably the closest you'll come to Yaya Toure, Gravenberch.
And that's not a great comparison either, bro. Let's be honest.
It's
He's
not. I mean,
nowhere
that's
near
a
the
close.
level, but
But based on characteristics
it's a
and
good
based
shot.
on physicality, physical
What
presence,
about
that's the closest you're gonna get.
what about like Declan Rice? Well, I would say less attacking output.
Nah, Declan Rice is he's not as smooth on the ball as Yaya Toure was.
Yeah, that's fair. I would feel like,
He's not as smooth at all. I
oh yeah,
mean,
that's true.
Declan Rice is like a workhorse.
Where do you rate Musa Dembele?
Tottenham.
Yeah,
Oh, he was a badass center defensive midfielder. Honestly, he was great. He was very very underrated.
because
Very
everybody always,
underrated.
like you always hear the professionals talk about him, and they say he's like the greatest player they've ever played against.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, the guy had everything. I mean, he was great. I mean, he had everything. He was strong. He was a very very well built guy. He was great on the ball. He was able to play badass passes. I mean, he was able to ping the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. It's just he played for Tottenham. I mean, he never really got the spotlight. I mean, but he was a very solid player. Very, 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 very solid. Very solid. Great player.
Who do you think is like like a modern version of Thiago, bro. I feel like he was one of the most underrated players. Like he doesn't get talked about in the same light as like a Xavi or Iniesta, Kroos. He was probably on that level.
Yeah, I mean, Diego Alcantara, he had the same profile as like Iniesta, Xavi Hernandez, David Silva. You know, they played in the middle of the field. They were not physical at all. They were not strong. They weren't tall. They were not good on the air. They were strictly ball playing midfielders. And nowadays, I think the ones that could probably fit those characteristics are like, guys like Wirtz. Who else? Frankie De Jong.
Obviously, like the
Phil Fo-
Vitinha,
Phil-
obviously like Vitinha,
Vitinha.
yeah, Vitinha, Pedri. I don't know though. I don't feel.
About Thiago, the thing about Thiago wouldn't really like. He wasn't really box to box like that. He would stay more in the middle. Like he wasn't really like Vitinha. He drifts a lot. Like he breaks the lines a lot himself. Like he just drifts, up into the opposing half.
That's true.
Thiago didn't really do that. He was more of a ball playing. He was more of a ball playing midfielder. He would receive the ball. He already knew what he was gonna do. He would just distribute the ball quick. If he had the time to be a little bit flary and pull out a couple tricks, he would. And if he had a chance to shoot from distance, he would do that as well. But he was more of like that typical Spanish midfielder.
Yeah, I think a player that I really used to enjoy who was super underrated was Santi Cazorla.
Oh, Santi Cazorla, what a player! I mean, the guy was able to shoot with both feet. He was tiny, but he was just a phenomenal player. It just shows it's testimony to how much of a golden generation Spain had from 2007 to 2014. I mean, that team was just stacked with midfielders. I mean, you had Fabregas, you had Cazorla, you had Xavi Alonso, you had Busquets, you had David Silva, you had Dani Parejo coming up, you had Coque coming up, you had Gavi from Atletico, you name it. I mean, there was just players galore. I mean,
Like Juan Mata as well.
Juan Mata.
Yeah, there were so many midfielders that didn't even play for Spain that were just ballers.
I mean, shit, man, that Spanish team that won the 2008 Euros, the 2010 World Cup, and the 2012 Euros, they didn't really play with the striker like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
the only
crazy.
strikers they had were just David Villa and Fernando Torres.
Yeah, it's crazy to like win the Euros, bro, playing with six midfielders and no
You
strike.
know what's fun? You know what's funny? If you really analyze the downfall of Spain started whenever they started to use a traditional number nine, which was Diego Costa on the 2000 Cup.
I feel like the Spain team now is probably one of the most balanced Spain teams we've ever seen, and that it's not like tiki taka and it's not like park the bus, but they move the ball quickly, but it's very vertical. They move the ball up the pitch quickly. It's not like slow paced. It's kind of, to be honest, that's how I like football. Like that's how I like to coach.
Yeah,
I like to
yeah.
play.
Spain is more balanced now. Spain has
Mhm.
way more. Spain has way more variety of players nowadays, and that's due to the fact that they have a lot of players that have like different you know descendances. Like you have a couple of players that are from African descent. Like Lamine Yamal. You have Valde. The thing about those guys, I mean, they bring that physicality and that flair and that pace. The traditional Spanish player does not have that. They're very. That's why the Spanish school of football, they emphasize always playing the ball. Don't keep the ball on your feet too much. Play quick, one touch. Why? Because they know they can't compete body to body with other national teams.
Yeah, the thing with national teams too is like national teams are so much different than like clubs, and that clubs you have like a true identity and
Yep.
training methodology and like style of play, and then like with the national team they're there for like a few weeks of training, so it's not like you
Yep.
have a lot of time to go into like super in-depth tactics and stuff. It's more just like throw an idea out there and play to that idea.
Yep. No, definitely. I mean, yeah, right now Spain has a wide variety of players. I mean, they have everything. They have players with pace. They have couple of decent strikers. I mean, they have pace on the wing. Right now they have different players. They have a different variety of players, and like in 2000 from 2008 to 2013, 14. I mean, they just had players that had to fit that certain system. They paid for the system. And that's why they were so successful. I mean, shit in 2012 in the Euros. I mean, there were games where they would play with only midfielders up top. I mean, they played with David Silva and who else? Fabregas, I think, up top. I mean, they didn't even need strikers. I mean, why? Because their system was so like they had it so worked out. And once in 2014, whenever Diego Costa became he became a Spanish player. He was a traditional number 9, and as soon as he started playing with him up top, I mean, they didn't really know what to do. I mean, they couldn't really get that chemistry going, and that's why they had that World Cup that they had. I mean, losing against the Netherlands and against Chile. But it was because of that. I mean, and they struggled for a few years. I mean, even in 2018, they didn't do so well. In 2022, they did. They underachieved. I feel like in this World Cup, they're going to be way better though. But I don't know. I still see them underperforming a little bit. I don't think they're going to win it.
That's true. I think probably still the favorite just because of the squad depth.
I think England too, man. England has a badass team.
Yeah, they're trending in the right direction now. They got a good coach.
England has England. They have a badass team.
Not like park the bus under Southgate.
I mean, who else? Netherlands has a very good team.
Yeah, I don't feel like
watch out the Netherlands.
I don't think they have the quality to win it though.
Come on, man. To back that Van der Ven, they have De Ligt, they have Van Dijk, they have Dumfries, they have Frimpong, they have Nathan Ake. Come on, man. They're hella solid in the back. In the midfield, they have Gravenberg, they have De Jong, they have Reinders.
But they don't have anything they don't have anything in the attack though. That's the thing.
I mean, the thing about the World Cup is, I mean, the beauty of national team tournaments is that it doesn't matter how you're playing in club level. What matters is how you perform in those 30 days. And you don't know, man. I mean, Memphis Depay could become prime Ronaldo in the World Cup, and Gakpo could become prime Thierry Henry, and Xavi Simons could become prime Wesley Sneijder. I mean, you don't know that.
Yeah, that's fair. But at the same time, I feel like they're too. They have a good defensive base, and the mid's not bad, but they don't have like a true creative attacking player.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how me and you were discussing, earlier. I mean, but what team does have a creative midfielder nowadays?
Colombia, bro, right there. James Rodriguez.
Yeah, I mean, Colombia. They have James Rodriguez and they have Juan Fernando Quintero still. I mean, yeah, I could see it, but the thing is, man, they don't have the physicality to compete, though, man. I mean.
I feel like they do.
James, man, they go on the wing, they do, but like whenever it comes to like James, though, like I don't know, man. Like based on what I've been seeing, like James just plays in glimpses.
But also like the midfielders they have around him, and they have huge strikers. They got physical guys in the back.
Colombia's good. Colombia's very good. They have a very, very solid team, but I still think that 2014 team that they had was a golden generation.
That's fair.
Come on, man. In 2014, they had a badass team, and I mean they made it to the quarterfinals, and that's even with Falcao missing out, because he got that nasty injury with Monaco. I mean, shit, they had. I mean, back there, Mario Yepes, they had Camilo Zapata, they had Pablo Armero as a left back. They had Juan Camilo Zúñiga right back. They had Carlos Sanchez at CDM. They had Abel Aguilar in the middle. Freddy Guarin, badass player, midfield. They had Jaime Rodriguez. They had Teófilo Gutiérrez. They had Cuadrado. I mean, come on, man. That team was amazing.
A Colombian player who I always thought was underrated was Santiago Arias.
Yeah, he had all the qualities of becoming a world-class right back. And honestly, whenever he made that move from PSV to Atletico, I truly believe that he was going to make that, huge leap forward. But he just couldn't get used to Simeone's, way of playing. The thing about Santiago Arias, like at PSV, he would attack a lot. And, with Simeone, I mean, Simeone's fullbacks, they don't, I mean, right now, sometimes they do. I mean, he plays with 3 in the back sometimes, but, I mean, when Santiago Arias was playing there, I mean, he was still playing 4 in the back, and, I mean, you already know Simeone park the bus. I mean, your players can't really get a lot of shine.
Yeah, that's fair. Although
Santiago Arias is very good.
Who do you think is like a modern Zidane?
Modern Zidane, man. Come on, man. Shit, we don't even have a modern Yaya Toure, and you asking me for Zidane?
I don't know. I see all these like kids, bro, and like these people who don't know football who are like, Bellingham's the next Zidane. There's not a modern Zidane.
It's because I'll tell you this. They've only watched Zidane in YouTube highlights.
Yeah.
They see Bellingham doing a little roulette. Oh, that's the next Zidane right there. Hell nah. Very different players.
Well, that's how football is now, bro. Like everybody's like, there are some comparisons that you genuinely can make and say like, play style wise, like there's some in my series, bro, where I'm covering like modern up and coming player spotlight and stuff. There are some players that you can look at and say like, hey, they kind of play like this, and then there's some that I'm like, you're not gonna say like, hey, he's the next Zidane because obviously his play style is
Hon-
completely different. But some players do have traits like older players that you can like identify and say, hey, they're similar, but there's some that YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all this stuff, bro, is just blown it out of proportion.
I'll tell you this, man. There's ever since Zidane retired, there hasn't been another Zidane. I mean, the closest that I saw, kind of, maybe have a little bit of Zidane in him was it was a young French wonder kid. His name was Johan Gorkov. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He played for Lyon.
Yeah.
That guy was very, very good. He was just an injury prone, so he never. It's
He
kind of
was
like Abu Dhabi at Arsenal.
It was around the time when Lyon was winning the French league.
A little
Around
bit
that time, right?
after, it was like he was at Lyon right before PSG became dominant. Where Gorkov had his best years was at Bordeaux.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because Gorkov, he started off as a prospect at AC Milan, but he never made it to the first team. He was at AC Milan at the same time that Aubameyang was also at the reserves. They both moved to the French league during the same time.
It's crazy how many like ballers were in the academies in Italy, bro, around that time.
Oh hell yeah,
Like,
man! I
like
mean,
even think like Coutinho came through Inter, bro. Like you look at how Coutinho was, bro. Like Coutinho would have never been able to play in Italy, bro.
it was just based on playing style, man. His playing style didn't go along with the Serie A. I mean, during that time, the Serie A still had a lot of their legendary defenders. I mean, you still had Cannavaro playing. You still had Nesta playing. I mean, shit. I don't know if you've seen the clip, but whenever AC Milan played Barcelona in the 2011-2012 Champions League season, I mean, Nesta, he had Messi in his pocket, literally.
I always think too, like like people we talk about like youth development and stuff, bro, and it's like Italy produced all these like badass players through their academies, and they didn't even fit the Italian style of play. So like, what kind of players? Like they weren't even developing players to make it into the first team, bro, because like none of them had the Italian style of football, and like that's why so many of them left Italy and like moved to other countries and became successful.
Yep.
I feel
Yep.
like I feel like that's kind of what happens like in Mexico too, bro.
And what?
I feel like that's what happens with the Liga MX academies too, bro. Like we don't produce players to ship them to Europe. Like they make like the Mexican style of play, I guess for Liga MX, but like they're never
Ah,
really
bro.
produced to move on, and that's why like Mexican players don't end up
I've
with it.
I've been watching the sport for almost 20 years. I mean, ever since I was like 5, 6 years old, and trust me, man, I've seen so many world class level youth prospects in Mexico. It's actually funny. I've seen too much of them. How I told you, I mean, everybody knows of the typical like failed wonder kids like Fabian and all those guys, but they don't know about the other guys. During the time that Marco Fabian was starting to thrive for Chivas in about 2010, 2011, there was a young guy at Pumas. I don't know if you remember him, Javier Cortez. He was a right winger,
Yeah,
left footed. Guy was a fucking beast, man. I mean, he helped Pumas win their last championship. He scored a badass goal against Morelia in the final. The guy was a beast, man. The guy was badass. He won the Olympic gold medal as well with Mexico, but he didn't really play that much. It
yeah.
just shows how stacked Mexico was at youth level during that time.
So
Enriquez,
so
the
much.
guy won the silver boot and he won the silver boot in the 2011 Under 20 World Cup. I mean, he won that trophy over players like Pogba, I mean Rodriguez, Luis Muriel, others like those, man. He won the silver boot. The guy was a beast, man. I mean, shit, he was a 6'3" Mexican center defensive midfielder, man. He was like the Mexican Patrick Vieira.
There's so many like Mexico youth teams that either won the World Cup in their age group or were close to winning it, had success in the Olympics, bro, and like those players either never made it out of Mexico because of the clubs are greedy and asked for too much, bro, or like they got caught up and stuff in Mexico and just never made it out.
Mexico has so much players, man. Mexico's had a lot of players. I mean, there was a player that won the 2005 Under 17 World Cup with he was a teammate of Giovanni Dos Santos, Hector Moreno, Carlos Vela. His name was Cesar Villaluz. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He played for Cruz Azul.
Yeah.
You ever heard of him? Cesar Villaluz was a very crafty. He was a tiny, creative midfielder. He
Yeah,
was doing well, man, but
He was like
He got
super.
he suffered a very bad injury in the 2008. Um, I think it was a Clausura 2008 final against Toluca. Jose Maria Cruzalta ran him over, and I mean, after that, he was never the same. I mean, that guy had a lot of potential. I mean, Mexico. I mean, we already had another Chicharito before Lormia Gonzalez, and his name was Eric El Cubo Torres. I mean, the guy he was like 18 years old in the Clausura 2011 season. He broke through into Chivas and he scored 6 goals for 18 years old. That's amazing. He scored
Yeah,
against both America and Atlas. The guy was doing well. I mean, I don't know what happened with that guy. I mean, that guy should have been a good striker too. I mean, later on he had a couple good seasons in the MLS with Chivas USA and Houston Dynamo, but that guy should have been bigger than what he was. I mean, Victor Guzman. For me, Victor Guzman is a badass player, man. Victor Guzman, El Pocho Guzman.
yeah, yeah.
Fuck, I mean, he's like the definition of a box to box player. I always said like he's like the Mexican Arturo Vidal. Literally, look at the way he plays. Look at his best days at Pachuca. Whenever Pachuca won the championship, the guy was just literally box to box, defended. Before he knew it, he was already inside the box, scoring goals, scoring hat tricks, like nothing. Like Arturo Vidal, like a kind of like a Paulinho as well.
Yeah.
He was that same type of player, but I think what happened with that guy was that he got boycotted by the national team because whenever he failed that drug test, whenever he signed for Chivas that first time, and they boycotted him from the national team, that kind of took away a lot of spotlight from him, and he never made that move to Europe. But
Well,
I mean,
that's
for
why
me, that guy could he could have easily gone to Europe, man, easily.
that's why he was able to go box to box, bro, and all over the place. It was all the drugs, bro.
Shit, man, but
too much,
nah, man,
too much steroids, and he could
nah,
go
man, but
everywhere, bro, wherever he wanted.
oh man, the guy was a beast, man. Look at his stats, man. You could go to whatever website you use, man. Go to his stats, and from
Yeah,
like 2000, from like the Clausura 2016 to like the Apertura those 2022, man. You could see his stats, man. He was ridiculous. He was scoring over 10 league goals a season, like nothing as a center midfielder. Rodolfo Pizarro is another example. Look at that guy. Look at that guy in 2017, 2018 with Chivas. That was a
yeah,
magician. Guy was literally a magician, man. And that guy was able to play in any part of the pitch. I mean, at Pachuca, he started off as a fullback.
yeah.
He started off as a fullback. But then Diego Alonso got appointed by Pachuca and started playing him as a box-to-box center midfielder. I mean, along with Eric Gutierrez and Chucky Lozano. Then later on in Chivas with Matias Almeida, he started playing more as a center attacking midfielder, man. And that's whenever he became like big. That was like the prime of his career. But man, we've had a lot of players, man. I mean, it's actually ridiculous. I mean, in 2012, Iran Mier was good. Iran Mier was a very good center back. I mean, he was able to play the ball from the back. One thing about Mexican center backs historically is they're very good at playing with the ball.
Yeah.
Look at that. They're very good at playing the ball from the back. Historically, look at from you could go all the way back to Fernando Quirarte in the 1980s. Quirarte was good at playing the ball from the back. Alfredo Tena was good at playing the ball from the back. Claudio Suarez was good at playing the ball from the back. I mean, Paco Gabriel de Anda was good at playing the ball from the back. Hector Moreno, badass ball
Yeah.
playing center back.
Even
Rafa
Rafa
Marquez.
Marquez, yeah.
I mean, Rafa Marquez, man. Come on, man. The guy was a fucking beast. I mean, you had
Even Puyol said that he was like the best center back he played with.
look at the center backs right now. Look at Johan Vasquez. The guy's good at playing the ball.
Yeah.
Cesar Montes. Cesar Montes, he's good at playing the ball from the back as well. Historically, Mexico has had very technical center backs. Very technical. Very, very technical, man. With fullbacks as well, man. We've had good fullbacks. I mean, Mexico's had good players, man. I don't know what happens, man. I feel like the main issue with Mexican youngsters is, at least for most of them, they always come up with the excuse that it's because they don't give us opportunities in the first team. You know, they always give opportunities to the foreign players. But in reality, the reality is that the majority of those Mexican players they grow up in poverty,
Yeah.
and once they start to get a good salary, once they make it into the first team, they start making some money. They lose their mind. They start buying Lamborghinis and they start posting pictures with Louis Vuitton bags and shit. And they get silent, man. Like they get derailed from their potential. They focus more on the vanity than on actually playing in the pitch. They're thinking ahead, you know, that they're going to be playing in Europe and stuff like that. They're thinking ahead, they're thinking about that without actually playing in the pitch that they're in. And that's been the situation for a lot of Mexican players. I mean, if you look at the 2011, you know, World Cup winning side, the under 17 the World Cup winning side for Mexico, a lot of them a lot of them made it into the first team. Carlos Fierro made it. He got plenty of chances for Chivas. He was never able to really materialize the potential. I mean, you had. It's actually quite sad that the player that's actually made it the farthest from that side was actually El Pollo Briseño, and that guy's literally a substitute for Toluca.
Yeah,
Sad man. Like I bet you can't name 5 players from that side.
yeah, that's true. Most of them
You
flop.
can't, huh?
Most of them flop.
I mean, I can name most of them, man, because I mean, I'm hella invested into the national team. But like, for example, one of them, Jonathan Espiricueta, he was literally like a Gilberto Mora type of player, very crafty center midfielder. Was able to hit the ball with both feet. He had a badass playing style. He was literally a creative midfielder. He was your typical number 8.
Yeah,
What happened to him? That guy never got the chance from Tuca Ferretti because he came out of Tigres. He was never given the opportunity to break it into the first team. So later on, whenever Villarreal starts, because they had a little stint where they signed a couple Mexican players. The first one that they signed was Javier Aquino. Then they signed Jonathan Espericueta, but he never broke into the team. I mean, yeah, I mean he was there on loan for a couple seasons in the youth level and Villarreal B, and the guy never he didn't really do anything. And I mean, he came back. He came back to Mexico. He played for Puebla a couple seasons, but he never became relevant. But he literally had world class potential. I mean, La Momia Gomez, the one that scored the bicycle kick against Germany in the semifinals with
yeah,
the whenever he got banded. I mean, shit, that Germany side, man, they had Emre Can as a captain.
yeah,
Emre Can as a captain, and Emre Can made it to the elite. And these guys beat that Germany side, and most of them, I mean, Filipe Briseño is the one that's had the best career, and I mean, he's literally a substitute at Toluca. I mean, it just shows that you can have all the potential in the world, but if you don't develop it, it's pointless.
yeah.
Look at Uruguayan players, man. How's it possible that Uruguay is a tiny country that has a very small population? Mexico literally has 100 times the population of Uruguay. Those guys are producing players left and right all the time. Literally, every season, you see a random Uruguayan youngster go to Real Madrid.
And
How's that possible?
you could say
Why?
you could say the same about like Croatia. Croatia has like 3 million people, and they have like nothing but ballers. Even historically, they have ballers.
And the thing about Croatia, man, they've only been the country for like 30 years.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
That's sad, man. That them in 30 years they have more legends than Mexico in over 100 years.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
actually sad. It's actually sad. Think about it. Think about it. I mean, shit. I mean, not to mention that we beat Croatia in 2 World Cups. I mean, we beat them in 2002 and we beat them in 2014. But the fact of the matter is that same team that we beat in 2014 made it to the final 4 years later.
Yeah, that's true. Croatia had a good World Cup then as well, and
The Mexican player has a lot of potential. Mexican players are very, very technical. You could ask any Argentinian coach that's been in Mexico, like Ricardo Lavolpe and all those guys. You could ask them if the Mexican player could compete in talent with the Argentinian player, with the Uruguayan, with the Chilean, with the Spanish. They'll tell you how we had it. They could easily compete because we have competed in the youth level. We have won under 17 World Cups. We have made it into the finals. We have made it to semis. We have won Olympic gold medals. I mean, we won one Olympic gold medal. We won the bronze as well. We've showed the results there as just. I mean, go back to the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. I mean, that Mexican side. We won the bronze medal. But who do we have in our team? We had Diego Lainez. What happened with that guy? He flopped in Betis, came back to Mexico. Why? Because I mean, they paid good in Mexico. Alexis Vega, he bought out in that tournament. What happened? That guy prefers commodity over actually challenging himself. Stayed in Mexico. Great player, man. Guy can shoot with both feet. Great midfielder. Playing for Tigres. Sometimes he's not even making it to reserves. You have Joaquin Esquivel. Joaquin Esquivel with the CDM. The guy is lost in Juarez right now, I think. I mean, the only ones that made it to Europe were Johan Vasquez. That's pretty much it. I mean, other than that, I mean, Vladimir Loroña. He was a right back. The guy's fucking. He's a second choice for Tigres right now. It just shows that the Mexican player doesn't really have the mentality. Honestly, they don't have the mentality. They don't. I mean, Carlos Vela. I mean, come on, man. Look at 2010. We don't rationalize as Mexicans the national team that we had in 2010 and all the young talent that we had in that squad. Firstly, we had Charito Hernandez, who had just gotten signed by Manchester United. We had Carlos Vela, who was playing for Arsenal. We had Ivanio Santos, who was playing for Tottenham. I mean, he was playing on loan at Galatasaray. Point is, he was signed by Tottenham. You had Paulo Barrera, a very technical and dynamic right winger, very pacey. He had a great year for Pumas. He had won the league title. What happened after the World Cup? He got signed by West Ham United.
I feel like
You had
yeah,
Efrain Juarez. Efrain Juarez, I mean, he was also part of that Puma side. He got signed by Celtic. You had Rafa Marquez, still playing for Barcelona. You had Hector Moreno, a very young, promising center back playing in the Dutch league for AZ Alkmaar. You had Carlos Salcido, who was a very settled down player at PSV Eindhoven. You had El Masa Rodriguez playing for PSV. You had Guardado, a young veteran playing for Deportivo La Coruña in the Spanish league. I mean, we have to rationalize that because that's impressive right there. That shows that Mexico is actually working. The Mexican teams are working their youth level teams very well
yeah, it's
because that was a great generation of players.
and like a lot of like almost a majority of the squad I would say was already in Europe, and the ones who weren't were like the top players in Liga MX.
Exactly, man, and they were young. And they left out a lot of players from the final list. I mean, she had players like Cesar Villaluz playing good. You had Omar Arellano playing good for Chivas. You had Marco Fabiano starting to rise up. You had Javier Cortez. I mean, there was a lot of good players. I mean, you had Enrique Esqueda. I mean, fuck, you had a lot of good players. There was a
And I
lot of
feel
good
like
players, but
I feel like it's not really like that in like the Mexican national team now, bro. Like you have mostly Liga MX players who are like at a good level, and then you have like the ones in Europe, bro. And there's like too much of a gap.
I don't really think that's the main issue, man. I just feel like players they just get too comfortable because, as you may recall, I mean, go to the 2006 World Cup. I mean, Mexico played very well with La Volpe, and most of the players played in the Liga MX.
Yeah, but I feel like
You go
like now like
you could 2005.
but I feel like now like Liga MX is not at not what it used to be, bro. It's not like at a good level.
It's at a good level. It's at a very good level. Just that the fact is that the reason that, like, for example, the reason that Ricardo Lavolpe was very successful per se with the national team, despite having mostly domestic league players, was because he would do a lot of microciclos, so a lot of short camps
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
players. So he was able to define his style of play to perfection. I mean, because if you look back to the 2005 Confederations Cup, I mean, fuck, Mexico played amazing in that tournament. I mean, they beat Japan, they beat Brazil. I mean, that Brazilian squad, I mean, had everybody. I mean, they had Ronaldinho, Adriano, Ronaldo, K, Roberto, Juninho, you name it, Roque Jr., Dida, Fu, and
Yeah, they
Mexico
had
beat
nothing
them 1-0.
nothing ballers.
I mean, man, it's because Mexico relied on the system. They didn't really rely on individualities. It was all built around team. Because I mean, because there's been teams that are the opposite. They have all the individualities in the world, but they don't work out. They don't succeed. Look at Belgium.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at Belgium.
And like
Yeah,
I mean, like
exactly.
my honest opinion is like the Mexico teams that we grew up watching had like a distinct style of play, bro. Like you would, and I always laugh because I would play FIFA kind of like this, bro. And you would just like look, the old Mexico teams would just play diagonal passes every time, bro. Like they would just switch the ball from side to side, get crosses into the box, play quick. And now I feel like we kind of lost that. Like we don't have like a in the
Mm-hmm.
last few managers, we don't have a distinct style of play. Like when you turn on the TV to watch Mexico, you don't know how Mexico is gonna play, bro.
It's because I'm telling you, man, like, we don't produce those same type of players, man. I mean, look at the 90s, man. I mean, obviously, I wasn't born in the 90s, but I've seen a lot of games from that Mexican side. And I mean, I've studied the players from that era. And I mean, Mexico, man, what a team they had, especially like if you look at the squads in 1998, 1994. They had great squads, man, of just domestic players. And honestly, I think the tournament that they would have succeeded the most in was in 1990. The team that they were kicked out of because of the scandal of the Cachirules. 1990,
Yeah,
man, I feel like they would have made it at least to the quarters or semis because they had a mixture of the team from the 1986 World Cup that made it to the quarterfinals but they also had a lot of the incoming players from the later generations. So pretty much in 1990, you're gonna have players. In 1990, you're gonna have Hugo Sanchez in his prime. You're gonna have Luis Garcia, maybe Luis Garcia coming up.
Yeah,
You're gonna have Ramon Ramirez is a little bit younger. You're gonna have Claudio Suarez. You're still gonna have players like that, you know, and Carlos Hermosillo, Luis Flores, oh, man, Benjamin Galindo in his prime. Man, that team would have made it to at least quarter semis. If you look at 1994, in 1994, Mexico drew with Italy in the group stage, and that Italian side with Roberto Baggio, they made it to the final against Brazil. They would have won that World Cup if it wasn't for Baggio's penalty, and they lost against Bulgaria in the round of 16. They should have won that match against the best Bulgarian side of all time. I mean, they made it to the semis as well with Risto Stoichkov.
when do you think Mexico will break the curse?
Honestly, man, I wouldn't know how to tell you because I need to see a very strong basis of players. I need to see players going to Europe, elevating their level of play. Because nowadays, I mean, you can't get away with just having good domestic players. You're gonna have players that are competing in the most competitive leagues.
You
That
gotta
are
have
leveling up, especially nowadays since the game.
like every country has like one
How's
or
that?
two. Like every country has like one or two that wins. It has like at least one or two star players that are like elite in Europe that I can think of.
Not just that, man.
Like historically, like not even just there's been mostly like they got badass squads. Like every player in the squad is great, but there's been some teams that go on great runs with just one or two, but you have to have at least one or two really, really good, like elite level players playing at a very high level in Europe, bro. If you're gonna make it, I think you could
You
if
do,
Mexico
man.
was in like the Euros, they might be able to shock people like every once in a while. But in a World Cup, you have to have one or two elite players to make it to the later stages, bro.
You do, man, because those players are the ones that change the game.
Yeah, Mexico doesn't have a game changer like that.
Why do you, why do you think the Netherlands was able to tie the match against Mexico in 2014?
Yeah, you need a Robin or you just need a bad ref, bro. One or the other.
You need fucking Snyder, man. That rifle was shot fucking. He left Ochoa standing, man. I mean, that's what I'm telling you, man. It's very important. It's because I mean Mexico's had a lot of players that have potential to become players like that, but they always fall short, man. Like they always fail to reach that next level, and that's why I respect Chicharito even more. Because the guy, despite his technical limitations, despite him not being the most physical striker, despite all that, he still managed to become a very good player for the national team and for every single club he played in Europe. Just rationalize this. How I told you a couple weeks ago, Chicharito, about a year and a half before getting signed by Man United, he was about to retire.
Yeah,
He wasn't getting any minutes with Chivas. The guy literally had his breakthrough season in the Apertura 2009 season, like La Hormiga right now. Miguel Gonzalez right now, literally. In the Apertura 2009, he scored 11 goals. Then in the Bicentenario 2010, he scored 10 goals. He got signed by Man United. 1 year later, he was playing against the best Barcelona squad of all time in the final of the Champions League, man.
it's always
And then
like
in the semis, he eliminated Schalke 04 in the semis.
yeah, and you always think about like the
Think
interview.
about that, man. That's
You always think about like the interview too with Rio Ferdinand, and he was like he's like the best example of what a professional player should be when they come from another country, like which is super hardworking, humble. Like
yeah, bro.
when you put him on the pitch,
Dude.
he was successful. He did like everything. He's like the perfect example of what a proper professional should be. And I feel like a lot of Mexican players aren't like that. Like they're not proper professionals, and that's why they wash out in Europe as well. They don't come with like that. They come with that mentality of like they're still playing back home, right? And they don't make that jump.
Dude, think about it, man. Chicharito literally one season he was scoring against Querétaro and Puebla and Indios de Ciudad Juárez. Boom, the next year he's playing against Messi and David Villa and Xavi and Iniesta, man.
Yeah,
Think about that, man. And he benched Berbatov. Think about that, man. It's crazy. But we
yeah,
don't. But us as Mexicans, we don't really appreciate that.
yeah.
We
I
don't
feel
appreciate that.
like
It's
as
ridiculous.
Mexican fans, we're kind of like English fans, bro. Like we overhype players, I think, and we don't appreciate the greatness of some of the players that we've had.
I mean, fuck, man. I mean, it's a very delicate topic, man. But yeah, Chicharito, what he did was very remarkable. I mean, to do that at the age of 22, benching Berbatov, damn, I take my hats off. I mean, the guy he was special. I mean, yeah, I mean he wasn't the most technical striker in the world. Yeah, he would sometimes score goals with his balls or with his the back of his head or with his face,
Yeah.
but the guy scored goals, and at the end of the day, what wins matches is goals. Goals win matches.
It doesn't matter if you
So I
score
mean,
tap-ins or bangers, they all count the same, bro.
shit, man. Chicharito in this first season of Man United, he won the Matt Busby Award.
Yeah, it was the player of the year, I guess.
Think about it, man. So a lot of people won't know this, man, because they're just casuals or fucking morons. They just watch the sport on TikTok and they think they have the authority to judge somebody's career, man. But the fact is, I mean, Chicharito played for Man United. Yeah, he was a super sub, but he scored over 50 goals for Man United, something most people could never even dream of. After that, he went to Real Madrid. Yeah, he ate bench for the first few months. Hey, Benzema got injured. He stepped in. He played good, man. There was a period in time in Madrid, man, where Madrid fans were actually requesting for his signature permanently.
Yeah.
Whenever he scored that winner against Atletico, man, he was playing good, man. He looked like a world class striker in there.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
always
check
like
the fucking
he was
yeah,
always
man. He
like
was playing good.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was always like a player who could rise to the level of the people who he was playing with.
You were seeing Chicharito starting to nutmeg players outside of the box. You were starting to see Chicharito become more associative outside of the box. You're starting to see Chicharito give back heel assist. I mean, there were a couple matches where Chicharito actually played as a right winger and Ronaldo played as a striker. There's this match where Chicharito, where I think Benzema got injured, or it was one of the two. Well, point is, Ronaldo played up top as a number 9. Chicharito came in as a sub, played as a right winger, and he gave a last-minute assist to Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Think about it. The official stats of Chicharito at Madrid for the 2014-2015 season were 9 goals, 7 assists. Pretty good enough.
Yeah, yeah. Any player that's around 10 goals or above and around 10 assists is a quality player.
Chicharito was awesome, man. I mean, from like February of 2015 to like the end of the season, Chicharito was very good for Madrid, and he looked like a world-class striker, genuinely. He really did. I feel like Madrid should have bought him, man. They could have had a very good super sub.
True. All right, bro. I got some quick fire
But
questions
then,
for you to wrap up. Messi or Ronaldo?
all right, bring him up.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Honestly, man, my heart goes with Ronaldo. Like I like Ronaldo more, but if we're going based on just like impact on the game and just natural talent, it's definitely Messi.
Chivas or America?
Come on, man. Chivas de corazón. I mean, we've had some rough patches, throughout the years, but Chivas de corazón.
Real Madrid or Barca?
Real Madrid, man. Real Madrid. I respect teams that actually have history and don't rely on past glories to make a point.
Iniesta or Modric?
Ooh, based on it's because it's a very I would say tie, man, honestly, because Iniesta, there's really nobody's been able to replicate Iniesta, but I mean Luka Modric has had a longer career than Iniesta, so I say it's a tie.
Raúl Jiménez or Chicharito?
I mean, honestly, based on career and accolades, I would say Chicharito, but based on playing style alone, I would say Raúl Jiménez, just due to the fact that Raúl Jiménez, he has all the characteristics of being a world-class striker. I mean, on his best days at Wolves, I mean, think about it, a tall, 6'3", fast, strong striker with good ball playing ability, could play outside the box, could give assists. I would say, based on talent alone, I would say Raúl Jiménez. Old school corridos, man. I mean, old school corridos actually lived up to the definition of a corrido. And nowadays, man, it's just a bunch of gibberish.
Fair enough. MMA or boxing?
Boxing, man. Nothing like the sweet science.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not a big fan of seeing men in tight shorts hug each other for extended periods of time.
Let's see.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on.
United or City? I know they're.
I like Arsenal, man, but if I had to choose a team, it's definitely United, man. City is just a team built on money. Their logo should say established in 2008.
Yeah, that's fair. When the Arabians took over, when the oil
Literally,
money,
man. Literally.
then they need to put a
Literally.
logo. Their logo should have an oil well on it.
Ask all these morons, all these Man City fans, all these new kids, man. Ask them if they know who Craig Bellamy is. Ask them if they know who Stephen Ireland is.
Yeah, they probably don't even know that Jerome Boateng played for City.
They don't even know Nigel de Jong.
Yeah, for real. They probably don't even know Nigel de Jong from the World Cup when he got sent
We almost killed Shotgun Alonso.
Yeah. Yeah. That was an insane moment. And
Very,
we're gonna wrap
very,
it up.
very insane.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you, man. Shoot, I was waiting for this for the opportunity to come up, man. I mean, it's a pleasure. I mean, speaking about the sport with you. I mean, me and you, we go way back. I mean, all the way to almost 10 years ago in high school, man. I remember we'd be in the middle of class. You know, our teacher would be giving us a lecture, and we'd be focused. You know, writing down teams and writing down formations on papers and stuff like that. I mean, it was good times.
Yeah, yeah. But we're gonna sign off now. Coach Peña here for the football engineer. We're out.